Welcome back, and I am very excited to tell you about this project. It's been one that I've had kind of in the back of my head and a long time coming, and thanks to a new product I was asked to review, I think it's actually gonna happen, and I think it's gonna be pretty awesome. And so, as you know, if you've been around for a little while, or if you followed me on Instagram or whatever, you'll know that I am a very big fan of foundation paper piecing. I love the little bits and pieces that all come together. I love the little shapes they make. I love the concept of it. But as you can see, I've made some pretty complex quilts with these. I kind of dove in head first to the deep end after making like one trial block, and then I made these other ones. But I wanted to kind of give myself a restart and a refresh and kick things off and work through some of my Kona scraps with the foundation paper piece project. And so I bought this book mid last year. I was like, oh, I'll do it. I'll kick it off. And it had to happen. And then towards the end of last year, in the midst of honeymoon and anniversaries and holidays, I got this email regarding the Munbyn thermal printer, and boy, has it changed this project and really brought it to life. So let me show you the book, let me show you the printer, and then I will show you the printer in action because it's so cool, and it has made my paper piecing game so much better. So let's start from the beginning. So I had seen this book and I was like, oh, this is a perfect challenge. One of the QuiltCon lectures that I had been to the last time I was at QuiltCon in Phoenix, so 2 years ago, was all about, it was about 100-day projects. She did like 100-day postcards, but 100 blocks, 100 days, this was perfect. And so there was such cute little stuff on the front here, popsicles and crocodiles and rainbows, and let's be real, that little kitty cat's what made me pull the trigger and buy the book. And I was like, well, I have all my Kona scraps from all my other foundation paper piece projects, and I have lots of that. And these are like 6.5-inch blocks, and they are perfect. And I just needed to start it, and so it's that. And every other time I had done foundation paper piecing, I just printed on a computer paper. I printed on my parents' LaserJet printer, and I had printed them here once I bought my new printer on an inkjet printer. And if you foundation paper pieced, you know that you sew through the foundation paper and then you pull it off in the end. And with the computer paper, I knew better. I knew that I should do other paper, but I just didn't. So with this, once I was given this offer at the printer, I was intrigued and I sewed my first one, and it was magic. So I have printed off these papers. So with the foundation paper, you print off your patterns. So this one is printed off that with the Munbyn printer, which I'm going to show you right here, right now. So this is it. This is the printer. Everything is in here. There's no ink. There's no, well, there's a power cord. You don't necessarily have to have it. Like, I can print wirelessly with this thing, and I can take this where I want to go with it. And it's just so cool. I like my printer right now. My regular printer sits on the shelf and takes up like a bread box size, well, a printer size hole. So this, the fact that I can just take this, charge it up, and then take it with me and throw it in my backpack, like, and it's a printer, it's wild. So because everything is thermally printed, there's no ink cartridges in here. And let me pop this open because it's pretty cool. It comes with a roll of paper in it. And so if you don't want to pack extra paper, like, there is the paper in there. So just think of like a wide receipt tape kind of thing. And so it just pops right in there. It's 8.5 inches wide, and so it's your standard, I think it's A4 is the US term for it, but if that's all I need, I can just take that with me. So like, I've got my backpack I'm already packing for QuiltCon, and I can just throw this inside, and I don't have to worry about it taking up too much space. It's really not that heavy at all. It's just, it's such a good little size. The other thing about it is if you're not a fan of the roll, which I've printed all of my foundation paper so far using the roll in here, and it works great. It prints just fine. The only thing is it does have a little bit of a curl to it, but that can be solved by switching your paper out to the sheets, which will just print off nice and flat, and they're magical, and they're 8.5 by 11 and so nice and all sorts of fun. Who thought you could say a printer was fun? And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna get all set up. I'm gonna go get my laptop out and get this all set up so you can see the magic happen and how these printers print out. Also, if you don't have a laptop, you can print from your phone. So that's another really cool thing that you can print on the go. I can take this to QuiltCon, I can take it to a sew day, I can take it to different events and stuff. If I know I might need to print something out and make some notes on it. There's just so many options that who would have thought you'd be like, oh, a printer and quilting, they can go together. Yeah, they can. And I'm gonna show you how. So let's go on over to my big board. I'll grab my laptop and I'll see you there. Okay, so I've got my laptop up. I've got my printer turned on. My little light is green. And so I'm going to go, I've already printed 1 through 7. So I'm gonna print pattern 8 on to my Munbyn printer. I didn't ask for Google to open. Rude. Okay, so right now, is it set to double-sided? Yes, I don't need double-sided. So I'm going to Pages, Custom. I need number 8 because there's 101 sheets in this, so I don't need to print them all. And so my scale is set to 100%. And so it looks like I'm going to be printed a beehive, and then we're going to hit print. And then here it comes. So it's getting all loaded, and there it is. So it just rolls its way on out. So right now, like I said before, I have the roll in here, and then I'll show you, I'll switch it up and then show you that the I can't even speak right now. Show you that the flat paper, the folded sheets work just as magically. So I made it to the end, and then it's got these little teeth on here that you just peel on off. So as you can see, that's how it rolls off. But I think if you're printing something on the go, like if you need to print a supply list or something for a class, then that would be the way to go, just to keep the roll in there so you don't have to pack the sheets and the roll. So what I'm doing is I have my book right here. And so until I get to sew that, which will be very soon, I'm just going to tuck it in to the page, and then there we are. So to switch to the folded paper, I'm going to take that out. It's so easy to switch it. And so I'm going to pop this open, take the roll out, if I can get a hold of it. And then, somewhere in here, I had 2 sheets that I had ripped off just so I didn't send the whole thing through. So it has a printing side and a not printing side. So printing side, and you can tell it's a not printing side because it's got the black on there. So I'm going to close that. And then I'm going to just stick this in the back. Right now it's red. So it's feeding in there. And then we're green. So I've got 2 pages here because I didn't want to send the whole pack of 100 through. So let's see, this was number 8. So I'm going to print numbers 9 and 10. Oops, not even pages only. No. Oof. 9 through 10. Okay, so we've got a birdhouse and a feather. So we're going to print. And so let's just get it all situated. And there it goes. So I think it's so great that I can throw this in my bag, throw it into my suitcase. I honestly will probably take this to QuiltCon with me, just so that I have it so I can put a shopping list, anything, because I'm going to do some shop hopping. I don't have a sewing machine with me, so I won't be doing any paper piecing while I'm there. But such a great opportunity to be able to print quickly and conveniently. Like, I'll be going to a retreat in April probably, and I'll throw this in there, so then if I find that I forgot to print off any of my quilt pattern, then I don't have to keep worrying about like waking up my phone or refreshing anything. It'll just be ready to go, and so nice and so ready. All right, so it's turning red because it knows it's out of paper. So there are my 2 pieces there. And now I have those patterns ready to go. So let me show you how magical it is to sew through these on one of these pieces. And then I will show you one of my finished blocks. And then you can see how magical this is, and such a game changer for printing on the go and printing quilt patterns, whether you do foundation paper piecing or if you just do traditional piecing and want a quick way to print your patterns on the go and not have to open up your phone and refresh and that kind of thing. So let's go sew. Okay, it's time to show you how magical sewing through this paper is. And so here is this more complex one. So I'm not going to do that guy. So I'm going to do one of the leaves here on the tulip and show you what we got going on. So I've got my paper on the floor, and then because this is so lightweight, I can see the lines through it pretty well and get it all lined up. So I'm going to find my line there. Okay, so I've got there, and then I'm going to fold back my number 2. So I know where I'm going to line up to. And then this guy, I'm going to go about 1/4 inch above, estimated. So I've got my points here and here. So I need to shift up a little bit. I've changed my stitch length to about 1.2, because you want a nice small stitch length to really make your paper rip easier. But like, I feel like I could do a regular stitch length with this and be fine. So I'm going to stitch right on this line. And voila. So now I've got to fold this back. I'm going to swing this over here. And then get my right tools. This is the add 1/4 ruler, which I have since recently learned how to use correctly, and it's amazing. And then I'm going to trim this off. And now, since this is thermal paper, we don't want to iron it, which was kind of one thing that was holding me back from trying things out. But I went ahead and I bought this Violet Craft seam roller. And so all I'm going to do is fold this up, give that a good like press with this guy, and look at that, it's nice and flat. And so now I'm going to go on to 3, which is on the other side somewhere. Give that a little press so I know where I'm roughly going to sew. Cover that up by 1/4 inch or so. Yeah, there's a little waste with foundation paper piecing, but it's nothing that has broken my heart, especially since I'm working with scraps anyways. The whole point is to get rid of them, so I'm okay with having a little bit of waste if that means that my fabric is going away. So stitching right on that line. I go a little bit past it just so I know that my seams are going to kind of lock in and be covered over. So there's that. Same thing. Grab my add 1/4. And then my rotary cutter. You could just like whack this off with scissors, but I do like, now that I know the way that this is used, it makes all the difference. So now I'm going to fold that up. Ball pressing guy. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep going with this, and I'll come back when I have all my 3 pieces done, so then I can show you how fantastic it is when it sews together, and then the end result from this block. So I'll see you real soon. Okay, so this block has 3 pieces. Here's our top of our tulip, and 1 leaf, and 2 leaf. So now I've got to put these all together, and with the magic of this paper and it being really thin, it doesn't bulk up like computer paper does, which I didn't realize how much bulk there was with computer paper until I experienced this. So we're going to sew these 2 together first, roll them open, put this on top, and that's it. So we're going to hop on over here. I've still got my stitch length at like 1.2, so I didn't adjust that at all. And so we're going to get this guy going. So I'm just going to line them right up, and I'm going to stitch right on that line. And then, so this has the 1/4 inch seam allowance built in, which is one of the great things about really good, well-written foundation paper piece patterns. And so I stitched on there on that side, and look, it's right perfect on that side. When I've done it with computer paper, it's been off, and I've just been like, oh yeah, it's fine. But like, boy, it's just, I love when things are perfect. I didn't realize how much of a perfectionist I was until these kind of things. So I'm just gonna press that open, squish that down. Why do we got some flapping in there? Just gotta squish it real good. And then I'm just gonna line this right up on top. Put that there. And we're gonna go along the long edge. And when I've done this long seam with computer paper especially, I've got some like buckling where it like puckers and shifts, and I have not experienced that with this. So let's see how the magic all comes together. Boom, look at our cute little tulip. And so now that's just another block to add, check off the list out of 100. And these are all done with the, so I printed everything off on the Munbyn paper on the roll. And you can see, even when they were printed on the roll, like that's what this one was. I didn't print this one out on the sheet. It obviously, once you start going with it, the curl isn't gonna be that much of an issue. It's just kind of like the storage in the beginning. But I am a changed foundation paper piecer. Like, not only did I do this whole block without my iron, I did it with magical paper that has made my quilting. I can do it wherever I please. I can just take my laptop, do it on my phone, and be good to go. So there is that little tulip, and let me show you a couple more that I've already done. And so when it comes to removing the paper, with computer paper, there's my little mushroom, I've had to fight it. Like, this is just like, okay, we're done. Take us out now. So I love that. See, here's my little piece C. I'm just gonna throw it away. These, look at all of this little bit here. It all held strong, and it was really easy to fold back. And my little tree. This one I think was, yeah, that one was 2 pieces. So that was kind of hanging in there. So look how flat these are. Like, no paper bulk, nothing. So these are so cute. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4. So I've got 5 down, 95 to go. So if you are looking for foundation paper piecing, this book, I'm excited to get to some of these really cutesy ones. These books, and then this printer, now that you've seen me use it in action, I love it. So I feel like I'm going to be doing so much more paper piecing than I had done before thanks to this printer. So I'm going to try and keep updating with my blocks on this, but this is my dream team right now. So if you've been looking for paper piecing, I highly recommend this. And I'm excited to use it some more when I go to QuiltCon in February and get some quilting going. So we'll see you again soon, hopefully with more of my 100 block adventure.